Hello, I'm Jim Hessler from Path Forward Leadership. Let's have a real conversation about having good conversations. Why would I talk about having good conversations in the context of leadership? In fact, I think good conversations are an essential tool of leaders. The root of the word really comes from a manner that we have of conducting ourselves in the world. So conversation is about showing up well, as much as it's about the content of the exchange. And it's not about being clever or witty, but it's rather about getting connected. Good questions to ask. Was there a good energy of exchange between us when we were talking? And have we somehow, either through this conversation or repeated conversations, become better people because we know each other? So the impetus, the energy for you as a leader in conversation is to make connections. Now, having good conversations means that you're also creating a more thought-provoking and creative environment, culture, process for people around you. So the ability to have good conversations, again, it's a primary skill. These conversations build relationships and they increase the creative capacity of the organization. Now, Susan Scott, the author of the great book Fierce Conversations, said the conversation is the relationship. And I've always found that to be a very profound statement. The quality of our relationships derives directly from the quality of our conversations. And likewise, the quality of our conversations derives from the quality of the relationships that we form. So what are the foundations for good conversation? Well, first is time. It's easy to see these conversations as not being essential when they actually are. In order for the conversation to go well, we really have to take a sincere interest in the other person. We want the other person to feel seen or heard or valued or validated in each and every interaction that we have with them. We also, in conversation, we ask good questions. And in particular, we ask questions that we don't already know the answer to, so that we're really open to what comes to us in that conversation. And we have to show up as non-judgmental. The quickest way to shut down a conversation is to say, well, that's wrong, or I disagree, or you're full of it, whatever. It doesn't lead to a good interaction, and it'll make people less likely to want to have conversations with you in the future. And I think good conversations have follow-up. If you talk to somebody about something significant, it's nice to mention it again in the following conversation to show them that you were really listening. Now, is it possible to have too many conversations during the day? Sure, you can waste your time just talking. But in my experience, leaders have to resist this temptation to judge these conversations as just talking, and instead to see each and every conversation they have as having the potential to build and sustain and grow the relationship and the entire organization, for that matter. When you're in a position of leadership, you have to keep in mind that the conversation you're having with someone in the organization in that moment may be more important to the other person than it is to you. So you can't throw these conversations away. Even though they don't seem important to you, they may indeed seem very important to the other person. So a big part of having good conversations is being mindful. A conversation of just a few seconds can sometimes determine the other person's sense of engagement and motivation for the rest of the day. So if you want to lead effectively, put a great level of emphasis on the quality of the conversations you're having. It's easy to perceive, again, a conversation in the workplace as something that happens in between other more important activities, when in fact that last conversation you had might have been the most important thing you did all day. So think about the next conversation you're going to have and commit yourself to making it vibrant, interesting, and perhaps a little bit unexpected. We'd love to continue this conversation with you. Please reach out to us with your comments, your stories, your questions about this or any other aspect of leadership. Thank you very much.